What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And I'm way too excited in this intro. Let's go. We're on episode 93, where we're going to be talking about the consequences of E3 being canceled. But first, we've got some segments for you. It's here. It's time to record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liz, how you doing?
I am okay.
Why just okay?
'Cause I have asthma.
Yeah.
I have allergies and asthma, and I've been taking the same medication for it for 5 years?
Just about, yeah.
For 5 years, and I am not on one of them because I can't get access to it. And I can't breathe because of asthma, which means I can't go outside because then I can't breathe because pollen and stuff.
You should really see behind the scenes right now.
I know. I want to take a picture of it.
Yeah. It's just like we made some temporary fixes for the podcast because there's just too much echo in this room. This room is probably the worst place to do a podcast, but it's the only place we can do in our current situation.
I'm not going to show it. I'm going to post it on social media, so you guys have to go on our social media pages to find it.
But yeah, it's just a bunch of blankets and like sound
blankets and foam and shelves with things draped on them. It is just beautiful. We're hoping to move it to a better place in the house.
Yeah.
Not today, though.
I have a plan to do it, but it will cost some money. Want to send us some money? We don't have a Patreon.
No,
just to let you know. But yeah, so it's going to cost some money, and I've got a job to progress that. But for now, we're just... Oh my goodness! I'm just looking at this. Why?
It's like just so crowded in here now. I can't even access behind my camera. I have to stand on the side of the camera.
Yeah.
To do it.
But
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we're on a main road, so we already got the road going past us, and we have high ceilings, and I'm just like, this is just the worst podcast studio in the world.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
The ones we had in our old house. Like, remember how hot it was in that room upstairs?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was bad.
Yeah.
And then the first part of the basement in the cement room, that was bad.
Yeah. The cement room was like a battle.
That room was an echo battle.
Mm-hmm.
The other room was a heat battle. Then we found the other room, and that was not bad.
Yeah, we just stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're doing the best we can to make it a fantastic show for our listeners, including my voice. Your voice sounds fantastic on these mics.
I just have that perfect voice.
I guess so.
Though I'm almost positive you can all hear me breathing now, and I apologize if you can hear me breathing because talking is a lot of breath for me right now.
No, yeah, like my voice, it's just like...
Your voice is very booming and echoey, so it takes a lot to get it in that right spot.
Yeah, I keep messing with the settings, and I know I do a lot. But that's only because I always fluctuate my voice. So like sometimes I talk normal and I have a lower voice, and then sometimes I'm up here.
When you get excited, you go all the way up here and you talk really loud and high, and it makes things complicated.
It does.
Whereas I am pretty, unless I get passionate.
But yeah, I think we can go into our show, I believe.
I think so.
Right? You do your thing in post and make me sound pretty.
Okay, dear.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to my voice when I'm editing. Like, I don't care. But it's like I focus on how he sounds in the podcast. I'm like, oh, well, if he sounds okay, then I sound fine. I can't focus on both of us.
No, yeah, because like for some reason, now, last bit of thing before we get into our show, I just noticed like as soon as we got these mics, by the way, fantastic mics, the Rode Procasters,
yes,
love them.
Great mics. Best mics we've had so far.
But like your voice sounds...
I sound wonderful.
You sound so natural. And I always have the same settings as you do. Yeah. And I'm like, Why?
This is the first mic that we had that I feel like when I listen to it, I sound the way I sound in my head.
Yeah, and then like for me, I'm just like, what's wrong? Like, I don't know.
You sound like you to me.
Oh, just annoying.
The way I hear it. I don't know how you sound in your head, but when I'm listening to it, you sound the way you sound when I hear you.
I sound like Hercules in my head.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
That's not
like I actually look in the mirror and I see Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I bet you do.
I do. Can you smell what the Adam's cooking?
No. Well, usually because you
I do the
a lot
cooking.
of spices.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't cook.
Let's get started. But yeah, so we have some segments for you. We're going to go into movie minutes in a segment, but first, let's just talk about our social media pages. We just want to remind everybody that we're on social media. We're on Twitter at Gaming Groceries. You can find us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word. Just to let you know, you can follow us individually on Twitter. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First. And you can also see my Instagram, Journey First Productions.
Journey First Productions. She's on Instagram there. And definitely check us out on Facebook. We have a website, gamesandgroceries.com, where you can listen to all the episodes from the website, as well as find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the podcast. I need to get that right on some week. Let's go,
One of
Adam.
these days.
And finally, if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely click that subscribe button and a notification bell so that you know when all these podcasts come out, as well as our Saturday videos. We just released one this past Saturday, and it was about why Life is Strange is so good, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, it's good.
I really like it. I like it better than the coffee episode. I'm very proud of this video, so if you haven't yet, check it out, or go in this little link card right up here if you're watching this on YouTube. So definitely click that subscribe button. Give it a like and a share. If you do enjoy the episode, you get to the end, you really liked it, definitely hit that like and share with a friend. With all that said and done, let's go into our first segment.
Movie Minutes.
Movie Minutes is a segment that we talk about the movies that we watched in the past week, whether it be on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or in theaters, and we like to rate it and recommend it or don't recommend it. I feel like we've been doing a lot of streaming movies rather than going theaters.
It's not that amazing of things in the theaters right now.
No, there's not. And plus, I don't like going to the theaters. Like, I don't. Like,
I love going to movie theaters.
Well, like, the thing is that it's kind of like a roll of the dice for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know who's going to come in.
Yeah, but now that we've moved...
Who's going to be a jerk?
Now that we've moved back to Pennsylvania, though.
True.
Like, in New York, you're almost surefire to get someone obnoxious in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
At least one, if not multiple. Whereas here, very rarely is it full.
Yeah.
And very rarely is there someone that obnoxious.
Yeah.
There are very few obnoxious people in general in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird for me. I don't like going to the theater a lot. I like the movies that come out in theaters.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and plus, with the current state of things right now.
Yeah, you can expect more streaming for a while.
Yeah. So, but, we streamed this movie from Hulu. This is exclusively on Hulu. It's a movie that stars Elle Fanning called Teen Spirit, and she also plays a character named Violet. Again, we did all the bright places where Elle Fanning was named Violet. Now Teen Spirit is named Violet.
Yeah.
So, Liz, opening thoughts.
I liked it.
Why?
I wanted to see this movie when I first saw the trailers for it.
Yeah.
But I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember wanting to see it because I love the song Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Wow.
But then I found out that song wasn't even in the movie, and that kind of bothered me. Like, that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because and the fact that it's a movie about music, you couldn't have just thrown it in there.
And that's the thing. Like, this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the title. Teen Spirit is the contest, almost like American Idol.
Yeah.
Where it's like Teen Spirit is like the competition that she enters.
Yeah.
You could have named it anything else.
Yeah, you literally could have named it anything.
They named it.
You chose Teen Spirit. You could have put the song in there somewhere. Could have put it in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
She could have sang it. Like, you could have done anything, and you didn't even bother to put the song in there.
Yeah.
That bothered me. I feel like that's part of why I rated it what I rated it. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I really like movies with songs in it because I love music. It's been part of my whole life. My family is very musical.
Yeah.
So And we're pretty musical
Yeah.
when we're not doing this.
I listen to a lot of Spotify, and we got a lot of records. Like we have a lot of like vinyl records. But anyways, like we're getting off track.
We're very into music. So watching a movie that involves music already is rated pretty high for us.
Yeah.
But there were things that were a little not off, but like cliche, I guess you would say.
Well, let's go into my notes here because my notes are the gospel. No. My notes aren't the gospel.
He like instantly realized what he just said.
And we're Christians, so let's not say that. So the opening really makes you feel for Violet's struggle and why she wants to pursue this.
Yeah.
And it's shot very well.
Yeah.
It's you're rolling through the credits. There's no like outside voice exposition. You just get to see her life and where she is, and you know exactly like you're all caught up.
Understand it, yeah.
And I think they do a good job in telling Violet's story.
Yeah.
Without like overdoing it.
Without walking you through it, like holding your hand, walking.
Exactly. And I think you really feel for Violet. You really get invested in her character very quickly. And I think the first act is my favorite act. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think Act 1 is probably my favorite. It started off real strong. What do you think?
I agree. I liked the whole movie. You were more annoyed by the third act.
Yeah.
But I liked the movie as a whole. I'm a little more lenient on movies than you are, though.
I'm very strict.
I used to be but you have to admit,
just go into theaters like Mormons.
You really do. But like I used to be much more lenient on movies. You made me more analytical of them. But that's because I have to be able to rate them.
Yeah.
But like when we first started dating and for a while in our marriage, I loved every movie I saw. It didn't even matter. I did like yeah. But yeah. So I enjoyed this a little more than he did, but
yeah. No, like that's the thing. We'll get into that in a little bit.
I liked the story. I liked the songs they used.
Yeah.
Because even the music they used, I'm not a huge fan of that type of music, but I really enjoyed it in this setting.
I've been growing into EDM very quickly.
Yeah. And you're getting used to it.
Yeah.
But I still prefer music with like lyrics, which this had, but a lot of the ones you listen to don't.
I have to introduce you to like an artist I just found, Midnight Kids. They only have singles out, but they're really good.
And they have lyrics.
They have lyrics.
Yay!
Anyway.
Like if it has lyrics, then it's already a step in the right direction. For me.
By the way, Spotify Midnight Kids, Found Our Way. It's a really, really good song. I like it. Anyways, but let's talk about the soundtrack a little bit. The soundtrack is, and I put this in my notes, it's utilized so well.
Yes.
I think when they have a good song in here and it's a licensed track, they use it very well. And that's why Act 1 going into Act 2 is my favorite because it's shot like a music video.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's very powerful. Yeah. And it really moves you.
Yeah.
And the scenes, and I put that in, it's shot like a movie video.
Music video.
And you just really feel the power of the songs there. And I really like it. But going into Act 2, into Act 3, the songs kind of like are taken away. It almost changes directions of where it's going. It goes into like...
They have a twist that didn't needed to be there.
It was a very predictable twist.
Yeah.
It was so predictable and I hated it.
And my thing is, it wasn't necessary because it did not play into the end of the movie. It did not, like, that. If that wasn't there, the movie still would have made sense. It still would have been a good movie and the end would have been the same.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to put a twist or something on the side there, it has to connect to the rest of the story. Whereas that twist wasn't even really her personality. So that was weird.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like... my final note is that the third act, I feel like, dragged a lot. And I think it dragged for me. For me personally, I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot. And I've grown up with movies. I've grown up with movies more than video games, if that makes any sense.
Which is surprising because your mom doesn't watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, but I did.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's...
Like, when Blockbuster was a thing, I used to, like, break Blockbuster.
Can we bring Blockbuster back? I used to live there.
All that to say is that, like, because I've seen a lot of movies and it was such
You know when something's repeating.
it was such a repeat. And I'm not going to spoil it, but like I talked you through it and why it was so repeated. And it used the same formula as these movies usually do when somebody becomes a star. Okay, so that's the only thing I'm going to say. Someone becomes a star too quick. Enter in formula. That's what it does. And
But for only like 2 seconds.
Not for 2 seconds, the entire act.
No, but what I'm saying is like usually that's kind of the theme of the whole movie, whereas this was just like a part of it.
Well, that's the thing is that like it wasn't the exact formula.
Theme of the movie, but it was like there, and it's like, why is that there?
Exactly. And it was just
like that didn't need to be here.
Yeah, just enter in that kind of formula. Star coming up too high, and that's the formula. And it's just like, this has been done so many times.
Yeah.
It's so lazy. And that's the thing. That's why I was so frustrated with the third act, because it started so strong.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And I think
act
that's why
one,
you were
act two,
more angry about it, because
it fizzled out.
yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's just like, it was like lighting a firework, and you just see it shoot into the sky, and you're waiting for it, and then like, that's my complaint. But the rest of the film is shot beautifully.
Yeah.
Music was done super well.
And I'm super impressed with Elle Fanning.
Yeah, Elle Fanning. Okay.
She speaks Polish, and I'm really curious if she learned Polish for this or if she had each line fed to her in Polish.
I feel like she's going to have a very successful career, more successful than Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
Way more.
And I think the reason
Calling
is
my shot
because
there.
Dakota started as a child. She was a child actress who grew up, so it's different. Whereas Elle didn't start till she was a teenager, not 4 years old like Dakota did.
Yeah. So let's go into our final ratings. Liz, out of 10, what did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Is that what that number is?
Yes.
We watched it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. But yeah, I gave it an 8 because like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the story. There were just some things that I didn't like. Like, we needed the subtitles on for most of the movie.
There was a lot of mumbling.
There was. Like, a main character, you couldn't understand what he was saying half the time. The only reason I had Adam turned off because it started delay. Like, the subtitles were delayed by the speak, and that would drive me crazy. But that's the only reason we turned them off. But we pretty much needed the subtitles to really know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the cliche that didn't need to be there. Those are my reasons. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. I would recommend this movie.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again.
My really quickly, and then we'll go into top 3 gaming news. I gave it a 6.5, which I don't think it's like a 7. I don't think it's a 6. I don't think it's above average. I don't think it's like, oh, that was decent.
Yeah.
It started off so strong, and because the way the third act presents itself and the direction it goes, I'm just like, you could have finished it so well and so unpredictable. Like, you had the setup there, and it just So that's why I gave it a 6.5, because I did enjoy my time. It was just the final act that just like chopped down my score a little bit.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
And I enjoyed the music. I loved Elle Fanning in this.
I'm becoming like a huge Elle Fanning.
Like I said, she's going to have a fantastic career.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of Jodie Foster in that way.
But a better career.
Yeah, no, she's going to have a fantastic career.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to have a future that's just going to like blow past us, and we're not even going to know where she came from.
I feel like she's going to have a career similar to Anne Hathaway, like that recognition.
Yes, I believe so.
Like, she might not do a ton of things, and they might not all be amazing, but she's gonna be recognizable like Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I adore Elle Fanning now. I'm a huge fan now. Like, after watching her in All the Bright Places and this, like, I've seen her in other things.
Seeing her versatility in all the different movies that she's done.
Yeah, I've seen her in other things, but these two movies like cemented like Elle Fanning. Like, she's my princess.
Yeah. Whereas Dakota tends to play more high-strung people on a regular basis.
So we're talking a lot about movies, so let's go into video games. But again, this is called Teen Spirit. It's on Hulu. So stream it if you want. We gave it above average, 8, 6.5. That average is about 7.5. So definitely check it out. So let's go into our second segment.
Top 3 gaming news.
The top 3 gaming news. This is gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it 3, 2, 1, just to give you a condensed version of what's going on in the gaming industry. Not like a compiled version, a condensed version.
This is why you need to mess with your vocals so much.
Come on now. Compiled?
That was...
I don't know.
You worry me.
Top 3 gaming news, everybody. So let's get right into it. We have 3 pieces of gaming news. It was a big week. By the way, so
yeah.
Anytime we refer to a certain health issue that's going on in the country right now, I'm not avoiding saying it because I think it's going to be offending some people. But we've now come to know in the news of YouTube that YouTube, if you say the name of the certain issue that's going on right now, that they will not flag you, but they'll not push you into the algorithm. So they'll see it from the automated captions. So if you hear us talking about it,
we're not ever going to say it.
Yeah, no.
So
there's a lot of news that came out of that certain issue that's going on in the country right now. World, by the way, world. But, YouTube wants to say that, like, no, don't talk about it, even though it's a global event. But no, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Even the channels, even the political channels.
Well, no, let me defend even the political channels. I do agree with you. I do understand because they do treat it because people are treating it like a prank. And that's why they're not pushing it, because just in case they say like, oh, we'll push videos to really talk about this, and then some punk kid is treating it like a prank.
Yeah.
And they're really
I 100% understand why they can't. But at the same time, that makes it very complicated for YouTubers. Us, it's one thing. We're only talking about how it's affecting the gaming world. But for like political YouTubers or computer tech YouTubers, like they're not even talking about it and they're getting flagged.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is that like So again, we'll get right into the gaming news.
You have to decode our podcast. And for those of you who are watching this like a few years in the future, just research what happened during this time this year.
So I'm being super professional and I'm texting somebody back super quick. But yeah, let's just go into the number 3 gaming news. And Reggie Fils-Aime, he's back! Hooray! But kind of, sort of. But he's back in GameStop. So he's back from retirement.
I was going to say, he came out of retirement for GameStop.
Yeah, he went into retirement of April last year, 2019. He went to retirement.
I remember.
And he stepped out of retirement to not be the CEO, because when I first saw the news last week, because top 2 gaming news is gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it 3, 2, 1. But that's the thing, is that like I was like, oh wow, he's taking the reins.
Yeah.
No, he's part of the board of directors.
He's just on the board.
So let's read this quote real quick. Liz, do you want to take the honors?
You want me to read it?
Yes.
So you can text?
Yes. Yes.
Like, it's like, I get to read it, but it's only because you're busy. All right. So it says, the Board of Refreshment and Governance Enhancements, wow, that's a name, announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for long-term success. GameStop Chief Executive George Sherman said, they are each highly qualified and bring significant relevant experience to our turnaround. Sorry, there were big words, and sometimes I read too fast and I read the wrong word.
No, yeah. So, okay, I'm done texting. I'm sorry, everybody. Professional podcast here.
Good job.
Anyways, but yeah, so I like this a lot. If you read this as a fan of GameStop, it's like high qualified, bringing in significant relevant experience. Reggie Fils-Aime. Yeah. If you read this like a business person, what brings the highest selling value to our company? Bringing in high qualified people. What's going to bring our stock back? What's going to bring our investors back? Reggie Fils-Aime.
Yeah, big names in video games.
Yeah. There's 2 other people that were hired.
But that's still not going to make people buy your stuff.
But that's the thing, is that like, it's great. Reggie Fils-Aime, he's on the board of directors. I don't know if he's gonna do a lot though. I don't know, because here's the other thing is that the board of directors, by the way, if you work in business, board of directors have a lot of power.
Yeah, but you're not even the head of the board. Like, my thing is, he came out of retirement.
Yeah, he's not the head.
Not even be the head of the board.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like,
no, he's serving in the board of directors.
When I retire, I'm retired. I'm done.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna pay me a whole lot of money, which I know GameStop does not have.
Well, that's the thing. Is that like that's the thing. In my mind, he's not even the head. He already has this mindset of I'm retired, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's just serving in the board of directors.
Yeah.
I don't expect a lot of changes. Now, if Reggie became the CEO of GameStop, I would be like, okay, GameStop's not messing around now.
Yeah.
They're coming back into fire.
But he just is on the board.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I see this more as like it's a name to put in.
Yeah.
But not a lot of value.
Like, I understand from GameStop's perspective.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't understand it from Reggie's perspective. Why are you coming out of retirement to sit on a board for a company that has been dying for the past couple of years?
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just it's cool. It's great. Like, awesome.
Like, good for them. They're working on it. They're trying. I just don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. We'll see what comes of it. But I'm starting to think that like they're just putting some famous names into their board of directors, just trying to get their investors back in and, raise their stock prices again.
Yeah.
I hope Reggie does something cool. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe he was bored in retirement.
Maybe he was bored.
There are people who do that. There are people who retire and they're like, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps.
I'm ready to retire now and I'm not even 27 yet.
I was just thinking of. What if GameStop called? Now, this joke is not original, by the way. I'm sure someone's already said this. I'm not like, oh, a genius, Adam. But like, what if they called Reggie like, hey, this is GameStop? Like, yes. And like, Reggie, can you serve on the board of directors? They're like, my body is ready. It just says it like that.
What?
My body is ready. Reggie Fils-Aime. My body is ready. You don't know that meme?
No.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay. Number 2 gaming news. Save me, Adam.
You talking to yourself now?
Yeah. So let's talk about the number 2 gaming news. The number 2 gaming news is actually really, really awesome. So Reggie is like, that's awesome, but this one's like revolutionary in video game history. By the way,
yeah, this is amazing.
Sony Interactive has filed a patent for a detachable touchpad that writes in Braille.
Yeah.
In Braille. Like this, the Xbox adaptive controller has been out, and they've been kind of going into Sony's space, not deliberately, but it's like saying like, oh, we're more accessible. We're helping people like play video games. Sony just comes out.
You just wait, see what we're working on.
Yeah, like Sony just comes out of the woodwork and it's just like Braille, and just drops the mic.
Yeah.
Like, how do you beat that? I help a blind person play video games. That's insane.
I don't know if there is a way to beat that.
There isn't. Well, okay. There's a lot of like, able gamers really helps out charity. The adaptive controller really helps. And I'm not trying to say that like no one else really matters.
The only way to beat that is if Xbox also made a Braille one on top of their.
Like I saw that and I was just like, why hasn't anybody made that yet? So let me read this quote real quick. I'm not trying to discount the adaptive controller. I'm not trying to discount able gamers. I'm just saying that it's like, that's incredible.
This is cool.
So let me read this quote from the article. All articles are linked down in the description down below, by the way. The detachable pad could output Braille versions of the on-screen information, even including its own little control input to advance through the text. It could also create tactile versions of in-game symbols, even animate them. For example, a series of arrows moving upward across the pad could indicate a piece of gear will improve your stats. The pad will support touchpad feedback, so you could use it to make choices as well as reading through them. And they've already clarified in the patent that this will also work on the PS5.
I really want to see this in action.
I know.
I'm amazed at Braille in general.
It's just
And anyone who can figure out how to read in Braille, because like I just think that's amazing. But to figure out how to play a video game with Braille, like reading Braille and playing with Braille,
yeah,
that's amazing. Like the brain that did this should go down in history. Like this should be in a textbook in the future.
Yeah, like I said, this is going to be this should be in the vault of excellent video game history and video game industry doing something right.
Yeah.
And it just absolutely blew my mind when I saw this patent and I saw the way it's operating. By the way, if you go in the article listed down below, I just wanted to list the article because someone did write out something really amazing and I want to credit them. But they do link to the patent. Go into the patent and just look at the way this thing operates. Yeah. It's fantastic. Like,
it is.
Good for Sony. Like, wow. And that's the thing is that like they've been really silent about next generation, and then they dropped this patent.
Yeah,
and I'm like, poof, that's crazy. I'm super hyped about it because the only reason I'm so excited about this is that like this is really making video games accessible into the mainstream, which it's going to be my next Saturday video. The next blue screen video is going to be about why the mainstream won't accept video games, and I'll give reasons why. And that's part of the reason is accessibility. Now it's going to give accessibility to blind people and people with low vision.
Pretty much everyone.
This is exciting for video game history.
It is.
But before I get really sidetracked here, because I read that article and I was just like super pumped.
Yeah.
But let's go into some sadder news. And this is going to go into our talkie time. Let's just jump into it. Number one gaming news is E3 is canceled. E3 is canceled. E3 2020 is officially canceled due to a health issue in the works, which we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Even though it's global. But anyways, but thank you for our audio listeners because we can say whatever we want. Well, not whatever we want.
But, you know, we could say it
within
and
reason.
Would happen.
But this is going on YouTube too. So, gotta play the game and the algorithm. Anyways, but yes, E3 is officially canceled due to concerns over this certain health issue. After discussions with partners, members, the ESA came to the conclusion that this was way too much of a health risk to do anything. And 1 week later, a couple days later, yeah. So this happened Wednesday, and Friday, the president put out a state of emergency, the entire country. So I'm like, whoa, okay. Not that I wasn't taking it seriously before, but once E3 canceled, I'm like, okay. And then
because we literally said last week, I think.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
So I want to read this update in the article, by the way, link down below. And this is actually pretty interesting about the future of E3 going forward. This is an update from the article, I believe Eurogamer. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. In a message sent Wednesday morning, the ESA cited growing concerns over the thing. Is officially canceling this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo. The organization says it's exploring options with our members to coordinate with an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020. Nothing concrete has been announced on that score. So it's really cool. They're finding ways to present like other people's work.
Yeah, like they're not saying like, sorry, indie developers, you don't get showcased. Nothing gets showcased. So it's nice that they're looking for a way to do this online, and who knows, maybe it'll help them realize that they don't need the whole big convention.
Well, we're going to talk about that in our big old talkie time.
Big old talkie time.
But I think this is more devastating for people looking for networking options, business transactions. This is a trade show, by the way.
Yeah.
I think we as fans think of it. Now I'm going to like continue this in our talkie time, but we as fans only think about the showcase, the show, the presentations, the reveals. We're not really thinking about the business side And we're not thinking about people who go to E3 specifically as a trade show
Yeah.
and build up networking and talking with others.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it as like, oh, E3 is dead. Not for
This could
companies.
affect some businesses that they were depending on the connections.
Yeah. So, but that's going to take us into our final segment. But just to wrap things up, Reggie Fils-Aime, he's back. He's in GameStop. Do you think he's going to do good on the board of directors? Write in the comments down below. What do you think Reggie's going to do for GameStop? I want to hear your thoughts. In terms of the Sony Interactive publishing this patent for basically for blind people to read in Braille. What do you think of that? Is that revolutionary? Should this be considered as like a huge step in video game history? Write your thoughts in the comments down below. And E3 2020, I would say write your comments down below, but write them about our talkie time because we're going to be talking about it. And write your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. If you've gotten this far, maybe you should subscribe.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's just jump into our final segment. Let's go into our final segment.
Jeez. Coffee time.
Every single week here on the Games and Groceries podcast, we like to have a little discussion about the gaming industry, whether it be about female gamers, game narratives, or like last week, we talked with Dan from the Greatest Story Ever Played podcast about our ideal Life is Strange 3. If you haven't checked that out, link up here. It was a really fun episode to talk about that. Dan's a really awesome guy. I am working on fixing our internet so we can bring on more guests.
Yeah.
The only reason why, yes, I do. By the way, yes, I understand. The guests can record from their end and then send it to me. I get that. I get that's an option. I get it. But I want to make it as easy as possible for guests to come on. I'm reaching out to some bigger names. I'm not going to say who because one, they haven't responded because I'm just a little peasant boy. And two, like once we get bigger and bigger, I want it to be as easy as possible. I just want to say like, listen, if you're interested in coming on, you just hop on Skype or Discord, whatever your preference is. We'll record you from our end, and all you have to do is talk about the certain
you don't
topic.
have to be technical or anything like that.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not a YouTuber or a podcaster, they might not have that equipment.
So I want to make it as easy as possible, and I'm looking into fixing that internet. That happens every other sentence, and I hate it. I don't know why it's happening. Pretty sure it's Comcast screwing with our internet.
Probably.
Pretty sure, actually.
Because they're angry at us because we don't pay them extra for it.
Probably. So let's go into it. This week we're talking about the consequences of E3 being canceled. As we begin, right? Was this a wise decision by the ESA in concerns for health? I think we should get that right off the bat. This was a pretty wise decision.
Yes, I think it was a wise decision.
But
all right, so here's my thinking.
Okay.
On it. This conference is in June.
Yes.
It's only March.
Yeah.
I understand that they couldn't, they'd be wasting money if they went ahead with planning it and then had to cancel it in May. But what if this health concern is gone out of everyone's mind by June?
Yeah.
And then this isn't happening because we were so scared way back in March.
Okay, time to put in my aluminum hat right here. Conspiracy theory Adam coming in.
It's tinfoil.
Conspiracy theory time!
We need to get new effects for you.
No, I that's my button. Don't mess with my button.
I'm going to disable it. That's what I'm going to do.
So here's my conspiracy theory. Yes, I agree with you. And a lot of the things that are getting canceled because of this health concern, they're only being canceled up until April.
Yeah.
And like the MLB, like the NHL, the NBA, they're canceled for the season because looky there.
MLB's not canceled for season. It's pushed back 2 weeks.
Well, no, that's what I was getting to.
You said MLB.
Yeah, but I'm getting to the MLB. Like I lost track and then I wanted to discuss.
Okay, you switched.
Yeah, I switched.
You said MLB.
And I'm going to come back to the MLB. So I put the MLB over here and then I'm going to come back. I'm I pat it on the head.
Okay.
I give it a little kiss.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
But the NBA and the NHL. Let me give it another kiss. But the NBA and the NHL were canceled for the season because their seasons, like their regular seasons, go up until April or May.
Yeah.
Like their last games are in April. Like the finals are in June. Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The MLB is only delayed till April.
Yeah.
So like what you were saying, the E3 is done. Like E3 starts in June.
Yeah.
Everything's only getting delayed until April, maybe May.
Yeah.
Why? Why June? It's because tinfoil hat here. Everybody's been dropping out of E3,
Yeah.
including their retail and production partner, Jeff Keighley.
Mm-hmm.
And they're starting to lose a lot of traction here.
So it's quite convenient.
It was a little convenient, and I understand that they saw the opportunity to say, like, listen, it makes sense. This is a health risk.
And it gives us a year to figure it out.
So I feel like they took this opportunity to make a wise decision
yeah,
to
still a wise health decision and financial, because like I said,
Yeah.
they could waste all this money continue planning it
Mhm.
and then still have to cancel it in June. So it's still financially and business good idea,
yeah.
but at the same time it's like that's a couple months away. This
Yeah.
most likely, hopefully, isn't around by June.
But that's the thing is that like I think they saw the opportunity and they just said like, listen, this is all screwed up now. We might as well take this opportunity. It is a health risk. Let's take it off and just, make sure that people know it's because of the health concern, but really it's because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a wise decision, but I don't think it was the main reason.
Yeah, I think that they said this is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Like it's still a good idea. But I definitely thought that when you first told me, I was like, how convenient.
Because here's the thing. While things were getting canceled, while things were starting to be like, listen, this is a serious situation right now, the ESA, there was reports coming out saying they're like, well...
Yeah, like I know we talked about this last week.
Yeah,
Might
we
not
did.
have been on, was it on the podcast?
I think so.
Because I remember saying like, they haven't canceled yet, and we talked about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm pretty sure I reported on it. Maybe not.
We might have talked about it, just me and you. But I remember saying, like, E3 is still on.
They weren't taking it seriously.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. We were like, because they even said, like, oh, no, we're still staying open.
And it's funny that they canceled it after they weren't taking it seriously. What's going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't taking it seriously, and they only canceled it after I Am 8-Bit, their retail and production company, dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so, like, convenient. That's just like...
We see through you, E3.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, like, again, wise decision, but it's not the main motive.
Yeah.
But
I think there were a couple things that played into this decision, and this health thing going on has given them a good opportunity.
I think so.
To collect themselves over the next year and figure out what they're doing.
Now, moving forward, because I can talk all day about this.
Oh, yeah, we could.
Like, I honestly could. A lot of people are kind of celebrating on Twitter, on social media, saying like E3 is over party, E3 canceled, finally, it's just good riddance.
Like, it's not done forever.
But is this actually good for the gaming industry?
I think it's good if ESA takes this opportunity to actually sit and think about it this year.
Yeah.
Of what they want E3 to be in the future. I think if they take this opportunity to really think about it, I think it could be good. If they decide, oh, look, the world can live without it.
Right.
And they're just done. I hope that someone comes in and takes their place to be something like that for
because there's always a need
developers.
for it.
Yeah. E3 serves a purpose. They just need to figure out how to present it in a good way because they are slowly becoming more of a nuisance than helpful.
And that's the thing, is that like the ESA is so out of touch with the industry, it seems. And they're so out of touch with fans, apparently, that they probably do need a year to come back. But E3 being totally obliterated, I don't think that's really good for the industry.
No.
Because
it does serve a very good purpose for developers.
Now I want to read some of your comments that if you follow us on social media, Instagram, it's all linked down below in the description, audio and on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we will put out a question about the topic that we're talking about. And I want to hear some of your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So, Liz, this right here.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Stop moving.
Okay.
So Volt Supreme said they should just do it online. Maybe they are. Roll out the green screens and keep the party alive. And then he has...
looks like a race car? Looks like a...
You're going to have to tell me what that is. Maybe it's a race car, but I can't tell what that...
It's a little squid.
Oh.
Little squid emoji.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. That's pretty much what we were saying. Like, if they did it online, like, that would be super cool. Like, I feel like that would really unite the gaming industry, especially if this health thing is still going on in June.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would really bring everyone in the gaming community together, despite what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But fingers crossed that this isn't a concern in June.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I feel like
I would be terrified if it's still going on in June.
So I want to read some more like other comments.
Yeah.
Let me read Andrew Orsi's.
Okay.
Andrew Orsi says that honestly, I think. Oh, by the way, it's not Andrew Orsi. It's at Andrew Orsi, but his display name is Andrew Still Here Somehow, which I love. Honestly, I think and hope this could be positive. Sucks to lose the biggest gaming event of the year, yeah. But we also had started to put high expectations on E3. This is a chance for companies to find new ways to show upcoming work without the pressure of creating a large scale show, which is kind of like what Volt Supreme said. They should just do it online.
Like, see what we can do with online without dragging people out and doing things and doing a huge big production. Like, do a full like online show. Like, that could be really cool, really cost effective, and figure out the trade show part later. We can't you can't do the trade show this year. That's for sure. But this will at least see what we can do with the online industry.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that like there's a lot that now here's starting to symbolize that I'm starting to see with a lot of people who are talking about this. They're really focused on just the show and just the reveals and everything. But really, like what you said, there's no trade show this year.
Yeah.
Now, there is a quote from Sean Layden, who's no longer with Sony, where he said that, I'm not going to pull it up now because I don't know what to search for, but Sean Layden basically said that he skipped E3 for the first time because he said, we were going to a trade show with no trade. Like, E3 lost its touch somewhere.
Yeah.
Where people were doing business things, but it wasn't really on the show floor. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, Sony was disappointed that there was a trade show with no trade, and we're only focused on, as fans, to say that there's no E3. Oh, how are we going to get our reveals? Calm down, everybody. We'll get our reveals.
Yeah. All the major companies have online platforms.
Right. And that's the thing is that, like, everybody gets coverage, and even indie people can get coverage somehow. YouTube exists.
Yeah.
It's the trade show. It's the business side. It's networking. I was even talking to, I forget who I was talking to, but they go to E3, as a consumer, but also like to build networking.
Yeah.
In fact, just to share a little bit, Long Island Retro Expo, the greatest retro expo ever. Boom.
Woo-hoo!
Long Island Extra Expo. Long Island Retro Expo.
There you go.
That's where we met Eon Gaming. If you listen to that episode, Eon Gaming, we talked a lot, and they were super cool guys. I haven't talked to them in a little bit. I should text them.
We haven't talked about them in a while.
I should text them. It's been a hot minute.
Catch up.
Yeah, really cool dude, and we like really hit it off. And they came on the podcast. Like, that's how we met them, and that's where they introduced us to Limited Run Games, and then we had them on. There's a lot of things that you meet certain people. In fact, that's how Eon Gaming met Bob Wolf. Bob Wolf was at another convention, another event.
And they introduced you to Bob Wolf.
I did.
You fangirled a little bit.
I was so nervous. Like,
he was so cute.
I was trying to be a businessman and be like, hi, Bob. I'm shaking in my boots right now. I forget what I asked him. I was like, hey, Bob, how's the Switch coming along? And I just like,
You were adorable. I wanted to take your picture with him, and then I was like, no, he's trying to be professional.
I'm trying to be.
But I know he really wanted to take a picture with him.
But that's the thing, is that you meet really awesome
Yeah.
people at these events. You network a lot. And I think the trouble is finding that human interaction when you don't have an E3. And that's what's
Yeah.
going to really make a ripple effect
Mm-hmm.
in the company. Now, do you want to read Nikki's answer, by the way?
Sure. So, Nikki says, for big companies, it isn't much trouble. They get enough hype on their own and don't need a big event for that. For indie devs, on the other hand, it could be a little different. They need the exposure they might get from events like that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what we've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
That the big companies, they can figure it out. It's the indie devs that might have a little bit of harder time. But with the circumstances we are in right now, I'm sure there are big names on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like a lot of YouTube gaming YouTube channels
Yeah.
who would happily, if someone contacted them saying, hey, can you talk about my game? Because we were supposed to be at E3 and that's not happening. I'm sure there are plenty of people on a platform that would love to help them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that like, and keep in mind that indie people, that Kind of Funny Games did an E3 press conference, but they didn't. Kind of Funny Games doesn't have to be at E3.
Yeah.
Because that's where he found out about Adam's Ascending,
Mm-hmm.
is that they were showcased at E3 through Kind of Funny Games, but Kind of Funny Games had the platform there.
Yeah.
And you could argue that, like, well, Kind of Funny Games had the platform of E3, and that's really boosted them up. And I agree with you there. But Kind of Funny Games already has that platform.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I agree with you, Nikki, that big companies, it's no problem for
Yeah,
them.
we're not concerned about them.
Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter for them to be at E3 because
Yeah.
they have other options. They have the budget, and they're
Mm-hmm.
fine. But indie devs, however, who's going to hear about them?
Yeah.
Even speaking as an independent developer of a podcast, who's going to hear about us? If somebody shouted us out in E3, like that would be awesome. But who's hearing about Games and Groceries as an indie dev?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. But that's where that platform comes in. But it is kind of troubling for indie devs. But again, we're only talking about the reveals here and talking about certain games. And I want to read the last. We only got 4 answers, so I might as well read all of them. This is coming from JM Gamecast _ Matt on Instagram, who says, only downside could be that E3 will no longer be needed. And we're going to talk about this in a second. Everything could be done online now. The big companies will have no issue with getting people to watch them. E3 used to be good, and I looked forward to it, but big names have been dropping off the past few years now. And I agree with
Yeah.
you. Again,
And that goes back into what we were saying before. Like, yes, the show itself, we can live without at this point, because really, who's presenting anymore?
right.
And what are we really getting out of the show? But it's mostly the trade show that this is gonna hurt the most.
Yeah. And that's the part, is that like everybody that you talk to about E3 getting canceled, they really focus on
like, unless you actually attend E3,
Yeah.
you're only thinking about the show. But you know the trade part of it when you attend it.
I should have asked somebody to come on the show as a guest to be who's been to E3.
Oh well,
Yeah. Oh well. But
it was
that's
a little out of nowhere. We just decided on this topic like when they announced it.
And plus, I got self-conscious with our internet, and I was like, don't ask anybody. There's a guest who agreed on, and I'm nervous about bringing them on and having that, but we'll work that out.
Later.
Yeah. But nervous in the terms of, like, I want to make sure that everybody can hear them. But anyways, so, yeah, and that's the thing, is that people only focus on, how am I going to get my reveals now? How am I going to get...
Yeah.
In fact, here's another thing. Big problem with your boy, Jason Schreier, later revealed that I can report Jason Schreier, not me, Adam. He reported that if E3 was going to go on, Warner Brothers is going to go and reveal their next Batman and Harry Potter game. There's going to be a Harry Potter game.
I love Harry Potter,
Harry Potter.
but
Wait, before you answer, have you played Chamber of Secrets?
no. Can I finish what I was saying?
Okay. I was about to say, were you going to say that?
I wasn't saying Harry Potter games are bad.
Okay, good.
I was saying
Yeah.
I love Harry Potter, but
This sounds bad.
Harry Potter ended when I was in high school.
Yeah, but you don't want any more Harry Potter?
I want more Harry Potter movies. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're making a video game about a movie that isn't like it's not new anymore.
Yeah, but
Unless you're doing a Fantastic Beasts game, then you can call it Fantastic Beasts game in the Harry Potter universe. But that's Fantastic Beasts. Harry Potter.
So wait, you would accept a Fantastic Beasts movie before another universe of...
No, I want a Harry Potter movie. You said a Harry Potter game.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, you would accept a movie over a video game that takes place in another universe. Each movie takes place in a different side story in the Harry Potter universe, but you would accept a new movie over a new video game.
Yes.
Why?
Because you can't.
Why?
I wouldn't call it a Harry Potter video game. I would call it a Fantastic Beasts video game.
But it's not...
Because it's a different... I understand it's in the same universe, but it's a different franchise.
Yeah, no, but like... No.
Not a different franchise, but like it's a different series.
But that's the thing, though. Like, what if, like, Fantastic Beasts, right?
Yeah.
It was a prequel, essentially. But what if, like, we got another, like, piece of the universe through a video game? Like, it's like Fantastic Beasts.
I understand.
Get it? Yep. What I mean,
understand.
kind of like how Star Wars video games happen.
I understand now.
You know what I mean?
That I might accept, but then I'd still want a movie version because like that's how I experienced Harry Potter for the first time.
And that's what's gonna go into my Saturday video. That's part of my script. I'm gonna be what was that one show? Like, you said the word of the day. Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I didn't watch that.
No. Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I didn't watch it.
Oh no, she said the word of the day. That's gonna be my Saturday video.
But anyway, that's what I mean. Like, I experienced the movies for like that's how I experienced Harry Potter for the first time. I didn't even read the books till I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still rather it in a movie.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, and that's I don't hide that. Like, I prefer to take most of my media content in through movies.
And that's going to be my Saturday video.
I know.
Why
I'm
it's
helping.
not yeah. Well, no. That's already in my script writing. Why it's not accepted in the mainstream.
Yeah.
You know, a little spoiler alert.
I'm part of the problem.
Not part of the problem, but part of the problem of video games. But
yeah,
we'll get into that in the next
so I didn't know what you meant by like it's an extra part. Like, I thought it was just, I don't know. I was imagining like them making like something based on the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, that's stupid.
But that's the thing.
I understand now. I take back my comment.
But that's the thing, is that like there was going to be some major reveals in the next Warner Brothers games, including another Harry Potter universe game, and that's been. But that's the thing.
Also, a modern day Harry Potter game would be interesting.
They might have been that. You don't know.
I'm not out. I was thinking of a different subject. That's all.
You have wait. Go back. You haven't played Chamber of Secrets.
I haven't played. The only Harry Potter game I've ever played was that one on the Wii that my family had that you.
Oh no!
That's
Order
the
of Phoenix.
Yeah, I think that's the only video game I played of Harry Potter.
Order of Phoenix was terrible. Anyways,
my family had corny video games.
Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban, the video games, were the most clutch video games back in the day.
Well, you'll have to show.
And it
them.
was published by EA.
You'll have to show them to me.
Yes, I'm gonna have to get it.
So off subject right now.
I know, but I need to like reiterate that if you haven't played the first 3 Harry Potter games, you're no longer my friend.
Also play Sims.
Also play Sims.
And Life is Strange.
And Life is Strange. But here's the thing. Like, I think we only affect, like, okay, we don't get to see that Harry Potter game. Oh, no.
But they could still show it.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Yeah, like, you're not going to see it in E3. You're going to see it.
What I keep
You're
thinking.
going to reveal.
The thing I keep thinking is that everyone's like, oh, we're not getting our reveals. Even though Fallout 76 was horrible.
Yeah.
And a complete letdown.
Apparently, Maddie says that the Wasteland DLC fixes it.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it at all.
I trust Maddie, though.
I trust Maddie, but I still don't trust that game in general, and I don't even play it.
If you're watching,
but
Maddie,
anyway,
thanks again. Okay.
I was telling a story.
The abuse. Yeah.
So, but do you remember the reveal of that?
Yes.
How they spent weeks, like they put out a picture of a countdown.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a countdown. They did all these things that got everyone so excited. They're like, and what is it?
It was not part of any kind of E3 or...
It wasn't part of anything. They just did it on their own. That's how they marketed it. And what's stopping someone from doing that on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like with this situation.
And that's just Bethesda. That wasn't even like
Yeah.
Microsoft or anything.
So that's what I'm saying. Like everyone's like, oh, I don't get my reveals. Do you not follow your favorite game things online? Like, go look at their YouTube channel. I'm sure they're going to have something. Look at their Twitter. Follow them on Twitter. I promise you, they'll have something. They're not going to not release their game because they can't present at E3.
You sound very aggressive to these people who are concerned. You sound incredibly aggressive towards Nikki, who just wants reveals. Nikki is a treasure on the podcast.
I know. I'm not. I'm just saying you're still going to get your reveals. Everyone needs to calm down. You're going to get your reveals. Just not. You're going to have to look for it.
Tell Nikki she's a treasure.
Nikki, you're a treasure.
Thank you.
And I love you and your drawings and the memes you make of us because they're hilarious. Like, I laugh at work when I shouldn't.
Thank you, Liz. That's all I wanted to hear.
I love how you're talking for her. What if I just made her laugh on my rant?
Thank you, Nikki. But yeah, like, I think we should be more concerned about the effects of the games industry. People who need that coverage, people who need those partnerships that they find in E3. And yes, they can find it in PAX. Sure, they can find it in like the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo,
Which everyone should go to.
everyone should go to. I almost met Jake Baldino.
No, you did not almost meet. You could have met. We found
I
out
was
he
in
was.
his presence.
We found out he was there after the fact, and I have a feeling I know who because
He was the Red Star.
Yeah.
The Red Star Wars person.
You think
Red
he was,
Guards.
I thought he was the furry.
No, he wasn't the furry. He was the Red Guard.
We don't know that because we didn't see him.
I was in. Wow, big motorcycle. But that's the thing is that like I could have met Jake Baldino. We could have been buddies, and that's the thing that all could have happened.
But that's why he
But
dresses up so you don't talk to him.
That could have
He
happened.
wants to just enjoy the.
Jake, if you're listening
thing.
to this, can we be buddies? Thank you.
No.
But that's the thing is that like, can we be boys? Anyways, so
No, that's true. I forgot about the Star Wars characters.
no, that's the thing is that like, because we were in the same vicinity, like we could network, we could meet new people, we could be friends with like all these like great creators, and that only happens by going to these conventions. The reveals and all of that can
And
like,
we don't even have a table. Like, this is just us walking around talking to people.
yeah, and that's the thing is that like all these things like what Volt said, it can all be done digitally. It's not that big of a deal. Even people who have a bigger platform like Kind of Fun and Games can help the indie devs. That's not my main concern. My main concern is that a lot of people who are in the gaming industry count on GDC for networking options, for partnerships, count on E3, count on PAX. They count on these things so everybody can gather together and meet new people and network. And like sometimes, you know, the greatest things that happen in the gaming industry happen at these events, and they happen behind the scenes that us fans don't even know about. So
Like, I can say if LI Retro didn't happen this year for some reason, that would be a hit for us in a small way because we have plans.
Yeah.
You know? And we do meet a lot of people, and we do make
we
made a ton of connections last year.
That's the one time of year where we get to like see Playable Characters podcast again.
Yeah.
Like in person. Like we always talk online, but like I wouldn't say always. Brian McGinnis, you know, he neglects me, but you know, that's the one
But
time.
that's when we hang out with them.
Yeah, that's when we just all hang out and like last year we like all just chilled out and just watched Bit Brigade.
Yeah, that was good, except for my legs were tired because it was the end of a long day.
Yeah.
Like, I walked around the fair, and then I stood there for, like, an hour listening to music, so my legs hurt a little bit.
But it's also the one time a year where these gaming industry like titans can finally like get together, because the gaming industry is so busy, but the one time a year they can get together, and there's so many things behind the scenes that we don't know about.
And Rolling Smoke Barbecue!
Only at Long Island Retro.
Only at Long Island Retro, and if you go, you definitely need to have them because they're the best. Expensive, but so good.
But yeah, like, well, it's Long Island. But yeah, it's just like, that's the thing. It's behind the scenes that we're not recognizing. It's behind the scenes that's going to affect the gaming industry. It's behind the scenes that with GDC, E3, PAX already happened. But if all these things were canceled out, the reveals can all be done online. Don't worry about that. It's really like how this is going to affect the games industry if somebody doesn't meet, you know, a certain person. Like, who knows, like, how many hires, like, how many people were hired that, you know, produced your favorite video game, and they all networked in these kind of conventions.
Yeah.
That's how the ripple effect will happen if E3 and all these things go away. The reveals could go away, could go digital, but to do away with the conventions could have a ripple effect that we don't even realize.
I'm sure there are YouTubers
Mm-hmm.
who gain sponsors from these conventions.
I almost got a sponsor from G Fuel. Like, they were like, Adam, you're so handsome. Like, G Fuel was at Long Island Retro.
I know. And they probably would have.
And they were like, Adam, you're so handsome. Can we sponsor you? I'm like, no, G Fuel.
I ignored that table like the plague.
Yeah, I don't want G Fuel. I just want Buy to sponsor me, please. But that's the thing, is that like a lot of these things, all I keep thinking about is like, I haven't been texting Josh, you know. Dang it. I'm a bad friend. But that's the thing, like I consider us friends, so I should text him, you know, after this. But
You should.
yeah, he's my boy.
Both the Joshes.
Both the Joshes. But yeah. But that's the thing, is that like there's just a lot of things that we're not realizing, we're not seeing. And yeah, it's devastating for us, the consumers, that we don't get to see these big monumental events. And they're events. But there's things that we don't even see.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to end things.
Yeah.
I don't think that's there's not much more to
We
say.
might have gotten a little off topic, but hopefully it was entertaining for you guys.
And definitely check out the first Harry Potter games. They're one of my favorites of all time. Chamber of Secrets especially is my all-time favorite.
We should watch Harry Potter tonight. Or here's an idea.
We go over to the retro gaming store that I'm not going to say, and then people will dox us, and then we go find Chamber of Secrets and we play it.
I was just gonna say that if we end up not being able to go to work at one point, we should just watch all the Harry Potter movies. Because we have them all in 4K now. We haven't watched them.
There's no chance we're getting off of work, though.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know that.
Fingers crossed.
I know our boss, and there's no way.
Our boss, like, literally does not care.
Yeah.
He cares about us, doesn't care about what's going on.
Which... I know a lot of people who they lost their jobs because of this, and it's devastating because they don't get paychecks.
Yeah.
And now me being like, yeah, sure, I don't want to work, but I also like to get paid, so I appreciate that my boss.
I can work from home technically.
I can't.
No, you can't.
No, I can. But that's the thing, is that like I appreciate that my boss continues to employ me.
Yes.
So. I'm just saying that right now. He's not even listening to this podcast. I'm just saying this out of the goodness of my heart.
Just so you guys know, we appreciate our boss.
Yeah.
We are taking this seriously. We're not just like, we're a week off of work.
My legs hurt.
We're just tired.
Yeah.
And we don't want to use our vacation time to do it.
But that's just it. Any other thoughts about this?
No.
Nope. But yeah, this is a good conversation, I think.
Good job. Oh, I got half.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that this is devastating for the consumers, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think? Like, is this a lot more devastating than we actually like put into the radar? I want to hear your comments and your thoughts. Do you disagree with me? That's cool. Write in the comments. Do you agree with me? That's really cool. Write in the comments down below. And again, if you got to the end of this section, definitely hit that like and share button. If you did enjoy this episode, give it a like. If you did really enjoy it, share it with a friend who also would like to know about Games and Groceries. If you would like to contact me directly, contact@gamesandgroceries.com is the best way to do it. It's email, message me on Twitter, whatever. I want to talk to you. Definitely. If you listen to the podcast, definitely come over and chat. I definitely appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel so that you know when all these episodes come out. Anything else?
No, I think you did a good job with that.
Cool. So we thank you for listening to this week's episode. We hope you have an excellent week. Have a safe week.
Bye.